Alright guys, welcome back to Relegation Battle. Didn't have an episode on Monday, unfortunately I wasn't feeling too well, but now I'm going to deal with my bad lighting as I'm back at home. But let's go on straight to the good news this week. Ty, we'll start with you. It wasn't a win at Madrid, but you got a big away goal, 1-1 draw, good goal for Pulisic as well, but what do you think of the performance in general?
It was a good performance. I think we did play better than them. Pulisic, good goal. He's looking like he's getting back to his best now, which is, good. I'm happy for him. Werner should have scored. I mean, I know at first I said in the group chat, I was like, that was a good save from Courtois. But then at the time, I wasn't watching the game properly. But then obviously when I've seen it again, obviously in the last few days, he definitely should have scored. However, that's not the reason why we drew. We drew, because the way we fell asleep at that set piece was poor. I think most of the season we've been good at set pieces. Like Mendy, he's always been comfortable, but the way we let Benzema just take a touch with his head and then basically score an overhead kick, that's not good enough. Especially if you want to reach a Champions League final and you want to try and win it. You can't fall asleep like that because you're not going to win anything. But and again, obviously Werner should have scored. I know that, but we did have other chances to create and we just didn't. Like, it's kind of just been our problem all season where we're just relying on certain players. But I'm happy that Pulisic's stepping up again because when he performs, he kind of just brings the best out of everyone else as well. So hopefully he can keep it up and we can finish the season nice and strong.
Yeah, obviously you got the away goals 1-1, so you keep a clean sheet in your threes. It sounds a lot easier, obviously, but you guys have been keeping a lot of clean sheets under Tuchel, so are you confident you can do it?
I'm confident, but I'm also wary because obviously Real Madrid, we should have took advantage of players that were missing. Obviously, there was no Ramos, there was no Mendy, so so I'm confident, but then obviously anything's possible. Obviously Hazard could be starting next week. Obviously, I know he hasn't had the best time at Real Madrid so far, but obviously he's still a good player. So he could click into gear. You never know. But I'm confident we can beat them. Like, we dominated the first 25 minutes. It's just we couldn't finish. So we can beat them, but it's just whether we're clinical enough, and that's the big problem.
Yeah, clinical. I think that's the perfect word to describe Benzema. Jack, obviously, like I said, Ramos is missing, but how important is Benzema to this Real Madrid team, the experience he brings?
He's massive. Like, I was speaking to someone when we were watching the game. There was had like a season or two where he wasn't at it. I don't know, maybe there's something gone in his life, but on the football pitch, he wasn't great. And ever since Ronaldo left, he's stepped up massively. I mean, this season, he'd been sensational for them. And we saw that goal, that cushion header and then with the volley into the roof of the net. It was just a fantastic finish. And without Ramos, he stepped up and showed good leadership and showed that he can basically carry a team. I know they drew, but still not. They didn't lose. So, he's fundamental to their team.
Yeah, and Jack, I'll stay with you now. The other Champions League titles, the PSG, Man City winning it 2-1. It wasn't the best Man City performance. It wasn't the Man City goals we're used to seeing, but they got the job done. Do you think, is it too much for PSG to now score 2 goals at the Etihad?
No, I don't think so. I think although City's defence has been very good this season, a number of times they've shown they can still be vulnerable. So, although I didn't watch the game because I was playing football, but it looked like Mbappe didn't have the best of games. That's all right, but that's rarely going to happen in both legs. So he's going to have a better performance.
There's a chance he could be injured for it.
Oh, okay. Well, Neymar had a good first half. I watched a bit of that. So I don't think it's I don't think it's impossible for PSG to score 2, but it'll be hard for them. But if anyone can do it, it will be them.
And Ty, PSG did start off really well, but then once that De Bruyne sort of cross went in, they sort of collapsed on themselves. Is that something that Poch needs to fix now with them ahead of the second leg?
It was very Spursy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's took that Tottenham virus with him. But it's just Keylor Navas. Normally he steps up in the Champions League, but he had a bit of a shocker in those two moments. But they can turn it around, but then that means them scoring 2 and then Man City not scoring. And I don't really see that happening. I think I think Man City are definitely going to score at home. So that's why personally I think Man City are through. But if Neymar steps up and if Mbappe is fit and he steps up, then game on.
Sorry, did you say it was Keylor Navas' fault for the second goal as well? Because you said the two moments.
Well, yeah. Well, no, it wasn't really his fault. It was the wall, but mainly the first one.
Yeah, the first one was, I think, like you said, he's been fantastic in the Champions League so far this season and a bit of last season. And then I know he's expecting a touch, but when it's gone all the way through into the goalkeeper's side, you really expect him to save it. And I feel a little bit sorry for him, even though he should have saved it, because he's expecting a touch. There's 3 or 4 players in there. He's expecting a touch, and then that wall where it just jumped and separated just reminded me of that Juventus game when Ronaldo did that to Porto. But like you said, he's been good the whole season, but just one messed up.
Yeah, I think the free kick, it didn't go in the corner. I guess you could say, Navas maybe should have been expecting it to beat the wall. But when it goes through it, there probably was a split second where he just didn't see the ball. So
when it's just gone literally straight at the wall and there's just a gap there for some reason. I don't think he's probably just expecting them to block it. So
when they've jumped, they've just gone.
And
just gone through.
I don't know how they managed that. Maybe they just saw the ball coming, they just pulled out of it. But that's a bit pathetic, I'm being honest. But yeah, that's last Champions League died. Jack, it was a fantastic Europa League night for you guys. 6-2 win. Some great goals. Pog Boom, Cavani getting the goals, Money Mace, they're all coming through. The real Money Mace, should I say.
No.
But, what did you think of the performance, Jack?
I think, I was speaking to another Man United fan, I think how the first half started is literally how all our games been since January. The first 10-15 minutes, we started very well, played some nice football. We saw that first goal. Pogba turned Smalling, nice feint, pass it into Cavani, round the corner, Bruno, little chip, 1-0, fantastic goal. And once we actually scored them, but normally we don't. But then the second, after the 20th minute, we were awful. We couldn't get any passing going. The intensity wasn't there. Roma were just having it easy. Then they score a penalty. In my opinion, it probably maybe should have been a penalty, if I'm not being biased. But then, because with the rules, but then what is he supposed to do with his arms when he's jumping into a tackle, trying to slide? So the rule probably needs to change. But under the current rules, it probably is a penalty. Then just poor defending from the whole back six, including the 2 CDMs. Fred just standing on the touchline, not the touchline, standing on the edge of the box, marking a white line. Player runs behind him, and Dzeko gets his goal. I mean, actually quite lucky because his first shot was going wide and it hit his other leg. But, going into 2-1 at half time, I still had confidence we could turn it round, but I did not expect that second half performance. We came out, the whole of the second half was like the first 10 minutes of the first half. We were excellent. Like I said, some of the goals, Cavani's to make it 2-2 with a fabulous finish, first time top corner. Pogba's header, Bruno with his customary penalty. And it was just a very good performance overall. And you can't expect anything more in a semi-final. And I think we're through to the final.
Yeah, I think definitely fair to say you got one for it there. See Roma winning 4-0. I think just a bit too much for them to ask back. I don't want to say there's any corruption, but I was watching the highlights because I was on the Arsenal game. And I'm pretty sure Chris Smalling's on loan from United, I'm just watching.
He's on permanent.
Is it permanent now,
He was on loan last year, and now it is permanent.
Okay, because I was just looking at him. He gave away the pen. For Pogba's header, he was the one marking Pogba. And there's one other thing as well. I can't remember what it was, but he was just so booky, and I was like, surely this guy's still getting paid by United to do this. But,
you never know.
If he's on permanent, fair enough. You guys got a good deal from that. But
I think Ole deserves a bit more respect. you know, like United second in the league comfortably as well, I believe. You know, pretty 1 foot in the Europa League final. Obviously, like everyone calls him a PE teacher and stuff, but I mean, at the moment, he's outperforming managers like Klopp at the moment. So I think he does deserve a bit more respect because I mean, if he's a PE teacher, then you know what's
Allow it. Don't say it, bro.
what's Arteta?
I think we'll move on to that now.
No, I think the thing with Ole is, I was looking at United's record after the game. They have such a good. They do have a good record. The thing is, there's two things. Obviously, one, the semi-final record wasn't great for Ole. That's always 1 point. And the second point is because Liverpool last year and City this season have sort of pulled away. It sort of just made United look a bit weaker. But in reality, they have been quite good. It's just that City aren't like as far as Liverpool were last season. They just went on an unbelievable 20-game winning run, which just took the shine a bit away from United. I think that is why Ole hasn't game.
Ole beat City as well. Didn't he end their unbeaten run as well? So he
just needs to improve his in-game management. He's very he doesn't anticipate things. So although we can say the second half was fantastic, at half time I think every Man United fan was saying, bring Fred or McTominay off, put Pogba into the middle, and then bring Mason on. But obviously that worked out well. However, we quickly just go onto the weekend when we drew 0-0 with Leeds. I mean, we penned them back, and I think that was the first game where they played actually really deep. But he didn't make his first sub until the 75th minute, and then still only made one. So that's just what he needs to improve on. But I do think he needs to, like Ty said, he needs to get a little bit more respect.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair to say. But speaking of managers who don't anticipate things and make late substitutions, I think it's perfect introduction for Arteta. We'll start from the lineup because I took a nap before, so I didn't miss it when it initially came out. But I saw this false nine starting. I think Smith Rowe's in the false nine position. I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. Alberto Dax did come and he was involved, but he just wasn't involved enough. So I didn't work out because he's not a natural striker or a false nine. He's not a Firmino. If Firmino's even the player to comparing to now, he's not what they can't do what Pep does. I would see because they're not the same caliber of players, obviously. So the first goal was terrible. Ceballos just got megged somehow, and no one's tracking the Trigueros. Second one, I think it's fair to say every football fan hates when their team concedes some corners because it's just so easily avoidable. Just take a man each. That's all you have to do and stick with him. So that was always annoying. Never mind it being Raul Biol, who can barely walk at the moment because he's just that slow. But, we almost got a penalty in the first half. Pepe handballed it though, so it wasn't allowed. The game was still there though. Like, obviously, most fans would say, Emery's beating Arteta in this one. He's got the upper hand now. But I was watching it. You can tell Villarreal is managed by Emery, even if you didn't know that. Because when you're 2-0 up at half time and you see this Arsenal team playing without a striker, you go for the kill there because it's possible. You can put the tie to bed. He took off a striker and brought on Francis Coquelin. That is the most Unai Emery thing ever. Yeah, he took off a striker and brought on Coquelin. And that just allowed us to push on them. Then even Ceballos got sent off. They didn't attack us. They dropped even deeper. They brought another centre-back on. And that allowed us, Saka, to just push that side, get a penalty. And then when they got Etienne Capoue sent off, that's when they started to push out a bit. And I was just thinking, this is just the most Unai Emery football ever. And, Arteta...
Was it actually a penalty? Because obviously I didn't watch the game, but I saw
something. I think it was
I think
very
soft,
down. But it was a penalty.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't watch the game. So.
It just wasn't enough to turn over, I think. But,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, Jack, I think you said that, I think I was talking to a couple of United fans during the game. They were keeping updated on United one. They were saying, McFred wasn't working, went down to come off. I don't know if either of them were yellow card or anything, but they were just playing quite poorly. But that's fair enough. Oli has a decision to make that. Do you keep him or do you sell him off? Ceballos was on a yellow already at half time. I think every Arsenal fan, I was talking to, I think EB's been in a couple of times. I was talking to EB at half time, like, Ceballos is going to get sent off if he carries on here. And I think we all knew it. And even though the second yellow wasn't, for me, I don't think that's enough for a second yellow because it's a bit of an accidental stamping. But you know, Arteta has to take him off at halftime. He said he was taking Ceballos off anyway, but Mane just didn't get ready in time. But you got to be cautious of that. Take him off at halftime so that doesn't happen. You have Elneny on the bench, who I know isn't the best player, but he's better defensively than Ceballos, who is shit. And it's interesting because Ceballos during the week said his playstyle is better suited to La Liga than Prem. Not if he plays like that, it's not, because Villarreal is 7th in La Liga as well. They're not like the top 4 side or anything. So, I think today came out as well. I think Romano said he's not going to stay here for another season or anything, which is good news for me, I guess. But the away goal sort of saved us big time, because now 1-0 win would be enough for us if we keep a clean sheet. I think Aubameyang still will start against Newcastle this weekend. I'm hoping he'll be fit enough to start against Villarreal's second leg. Same with Lacazette. I think there's a small chance that Tierney might be back, which is obviously surprising because he was set to be out for the whole season. But then there's the surgery they thought they needed just wasn't needed, so he could be back for that. And if he's back, if Lacazette and Aubameyang are back, then I'll be a lot more confident. But right now, if Aubameyang's not fit enough to start and has to be your false nine or Nketiah up top, I think Emery could probably take it, which would be disappointing for us, not just because it's Emery, because we have a chance not just to get a Europa League final against Man United, which I think so many fans would enjoy. Arsenal versus Man United. Obviously, it's not as big as it was, but it's still.
Right. I've got a question because I saw something earlier about Robbie and DT saying loads of, in my opinion, nonsense. But they were saying, I kind of understood what they were saying. But would a Europa League final between you two be bigger, or the oil money final of Chelsea and Man City? What do you think?
I think for English fans, the United Arsenal one would be bigger. Maybe not for people our age, but a bit older, because Man United, Arsenal, they're the two not biggest clubs, but they had such a rivalry in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I think that would be fair to say. But in general, I think Champions League would always trump the Europa League.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I was thinking.
Arsenal got to count themselves lucky, to be honest, because like you said, I think you said it. You didn't watch the United game because you watched Arsenal. I watched some of the Arsenal game as well, but I didn't really watch that much. And I heard that Ceballos made another challenge in the second half that he was lucky not even to get a second yellow for that one. So then Arteta should have brought him off after. But I kind of watched the first half, and you were awful. You were lucky to even get a goal. I mean, to be honest, I still fancy you to win the whole thing. Now you've got that away goal.
Whole thing is in the tie or the Europa League?
The tie.
I was gonna say
because the second half you played a little bit better. I'm still not say you played well, but played a little bit better. You had a few more, like you said, they just sat back. You had more attacks. So if you can get an early goal, then you'll be more than comfortable.
Yeah, I think it was bold of him to go for the false nine. I think.
Yeah, semi-final.
Yeah,
right for the first time the whole season.
He's just trying to be like Pep, I think, and I understand it. He learned under Pep, but you're not Pep. I think that's the first thing. He has more experience to attempt.
You don't have the players like Pep.
Exactly. Yeah, like Smith Rowe is not the caliber of Phil Foden or De Bruyne. Like, Saka, fair enough. He still did all right, but if you play false nine or like what you did, you got to like pass it through people. But we're trying way too many long balls to do that, and like you got to understand, short passing is the key here, not the long balls. So, Newcastle are expecting people to get arrested and stuff, but we'll see about that. But just Jack, you got Liverpool on the weekend now. Would you expect people to be rested for Roma still, or just go full out against Liverpool?
I mean, no. I think we should. In my opinion, we should play the exact same team that played today against Liverpool. And I don't know if Oli would do it because when we were 4-0 up against Real Sociedad in the second leg, he still played the strongest team. But I know it's a semi-final and anything can happen. But I think if we lost that semi-final, I think every player should leave the club and the manager should leave the club. So I don't think that will happen. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. But so I would go this full strength on Sunday and then make changes on Thursday. Bring Van der Beek in. He has to play. I want to see Ahmad given a game, Twinzabi coming in, Tellez. I'm not saying change the whole 11, but maybe 4, 5 maybe players change. Bruno coming out and give a rest. Cavani come out and give a rest. Rashford probably give a rest. And then just make a few changes. But I bring in Matic, but I don't know what Ollie will do because he didn't do it last time.
Yeah, and last year United, I think news today was Cavani and his contract talks. Would you want to see him re-sign for another year, or would you rather a more long-term option come in now?
I would rather. Obviously, you would want a more long-term option. However, with one more year, and it's not like it's like an extension, so pretty much in the same wages. And then next season, if what the rumours are true that Harry Kane's very high on our wish list, I know he'll be maybe another year older, but his contract will be another year down, probably a little bit less money. Then another rumour is that Haaland's high on the wish list. His release clause comes in. So, I wouldn't mind Cavani. And this season, or this summer transfer window, our focus shouldn't be on a striker. Because although Martial's had a bad season, when he gets back into form, when he gets back into form, if with Greenwood up there and now that Cavani's there, if you give them the chances, they will score. And now it's just getting the whole team round and creating those chances. So, our priority, I want a right winger and a CDM and a centre back this summer.
Yeah, I mean, Sancho I don't know what's happening with Sancho. He's doing better now, but the United links have sort of died down a bit. They probably will come back to life in this summer, especially depending on how his Euros go as well. If he gets picked, that is. Yeah, CDM. I like McTominay. I don't like Fred personally. I think I said on here before. I do rate McTominay a bit, and he's still young, whereas Fred's a bit older, and he's just not adapting well, I think, to what Ole's trying to do. I think decent. He could be like Ander Herrera for you guys. He could be a decent squad player, but I don't think he's the one to start and get you that consistent Champions League football personally, to challenge for the Champions League. But you mentioned that Harry Kane still trophyless after defeat to Man City in the Carabao Cup final. I said on Twitter, and I said it last time we spoke, I just don't understand why they sacked Mourinho a week before a cup final. Ryan Mason, who's younger than half their squad, comes in and he plays the same football as Mourinho, which is understandable. You can't he's a caretaker manager. He's just got to work what the players have gone through for the past season. So why not just keep Mourinho for at least another week and sack him if we lose the final, or just keep him the rest of the season? It doesn't make sense why. Yeah, go on.
Well, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not in the club, but apparently there were strong rumours that. Obviously, I was speaking to Tom as well. There was rumours that something to do with where if he won a trophy, that I think they were planning to sack him this season, but apparently something to do with if he won a trophy, they would have to give him a lot more money, or something like that, or then there's something to do where he finished in the league as well. So maybe it's that. But if it's nothing to do with in this contract, then you're right. I don't think they should have sacked him.
But surely that's even more embarrassing. There's a Tottenham Hotspur. They haven't won a trophy since 2008. Surely money is not the main issue here when the trophy's in the line. I think Sky showed Pep's record of cup finals before the game. Mourinho is the only guy to beat him. So why would you sack the only? And he has a great record since he's come against City and at Spurs as well. So why would you sack him a week before a final and bring in Ryan Mason and expect something? That was
The other rumor was that if he won the trophy, that he wasn't allowed to be sacked.
Okay, that's fair enough then. But
that was a strong rumor as well. That's what Tom said to me. So, like I said, I don't know the contract whether that's true or not, but that was a strong rumor going around that if he won the cup, he wasn't really, or he can't get sacked that season. Kind of. Yeah. Obviously, they were planning to sack him because the results in football.
Yeah, it's at the moment it's looking like they don't even know who they're going to replace him with because they wanted the guy from Ajax, but obviously he's just signed a new deal. I'm guessing they wanted Nagelsmann, but he's agreed to go Bayern. So
I don't think
it seems like they just sacked him with no plan.
But that the Ajax manager, it was only a 1-year extension.
No,
If it was like 3 or 4, then you could say, yeah, he's definitely not going. But all it was a 1-year extension. I still don't think he's going to go. But if he was to go, that just means he gets more money. The club gets more money. He had to pay more. But like I said, he signed a new contract. I don't think he will go.
It just seems like they sacked him with like no plan. Like if you look at other clubs, like obviously I know Chelsea do it a lot and they're very used to it. But like every time we sack a manager, we always seem to have another one lined up. So
maybe what I said is true then. Maybe they had to quickly sack him because in case he won the trophy and they couldn't sack him and they were like, we have to get him. Or maybe there was that thinking that they saw the rumours that Nagelsmann going to Bayern Munich. So they thought, let's just try and get him now. Sack Mourinho, get him. But obviously that didn't happen. And then they're going to we have to wait and see in the summer.
If they thought they were going to get Nagelsmann instead of him going to Bayern Munich, then there's something wrong with that board.
Not really, because I get that, and I get he's German like football, but he's just gone from their closest challengers. He's going to win the title every year. In my opinion, I don't know how that's. What's the word? I don't know how there's ambition in that league.
It's probably because he's still young, though, isn't it? Like he's still at the start of his career. So that's probably the reason.
I get that more experience, but then literally Bayern just brought their closest competitors' best player and manager. With Upamecano. But that league just got no.
Yeah, that league's a joke.
No quality. It's just no ambition in there. It's another farmers' league.
You can tell that Bayern want to win, but other clubs want the money. I think that's the case.
Yeah.
I love Nagelsmann as well. I feel like if he does, he probably will win most of the titles. But if he succeeds in other competitions as well, it sort of lines him up for the Germany job as well, which is probably in his sights for his career as well. So, I think I agree with you, Jack. I think you wouldn't see that in England. You wouldn't see like Ole go to City. Safe to happen. You wouldn't see that.
You wouldn't see Man United, Man City keep buying all Chelsea players or Arsenal players because that just doesn't happen.
Well, we buy Chelsea players, but not the right ones.
You can get the odd one, but not every season buying your rival's club best player.
Yeah, we wouldn't sign Mason Mount
a few times, but exactly,
not a chance.
Exactly.
But I think the other manager was Brendan Rodgers. Leicester are currently 1-1 against Southampton right now. They just equalised. Johnny Evans scored a header.
Playing.
Same.
Southampton down to 10 men. Vestergaard got sent off after 10 minutes. Ward-Prowse scored a penalty, but then Leicester have just equalised. Iheanacho assist, apparently. So interesting there. Minamino is on the pitch, so I expect him to get a winner. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, so back on the Spurs manager thing. I feel like the only thing, if I was a manager, that would intrigue me at Spurs is Harry Kane. Because, they're not trophy winners. I think it's fair to say they're not serial winners. I think that's more than fair to say. Their history or like tradition, if you want to call it that, isn't as big as the likes of United, Liverpool, these kind of clubs. So what would interest you is the players. Harry Kane, the best player in the world. If he's set to leave, if they get Champions League football, like, fair enough, you get money for a rebuild if that does happen. But would you not rather keep Harry Kane and build around him?
Yeah, but then you've got I don't know. I think you're being a little bit disrespectful there because with COVID and that, but they've just got a new stadium. So once everything goes back to normal, fans are allowed back in. NFL could be. They're going to generate loads and loads of money. Whether their board's going to put that money back into the club is a different question. However, they're going to have loads and loads of money. So that's going to... Obviously, we know Daniel Levy's very stingy, but with more money could mean more investment. But then, obviously, you never know that. But with more investment, it's going to get even better players. So that could be another incentive. Probably the best stadium in the country. So I think they have to try and keep Kane. It's just whether Kane, like you said, he's 20, will be 28 in the summer. If he was to leave, he'll go to the club 28. He's still got quite a few years left in him, but every season he gets quite a long injury, Which the only thing that puts me off paying 125, 130 million for him is that injury record that hasn't been very good. So I think Tottenham's got to try and keep him. It's just whether he can, I saw somewhere like whether he has that killer instinct to go to that next level to win that trophy, because it doesn't look like, because Tottenham Spurs have got to rebuild. So whether he's going to rebuild with them and maybe bring the younger players through, but it's whether they win a trophy.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, yeah. The stadium is a big thing for them because it is, like you said, it probably is one of the better stadiums in the country, but in the league as well. So that's fair enough. But I feel like, you know, if they're doing a Champions League football, obviously this is, and it looks like if they don't get it, they'll probably get UEFA Conference League as well, not in Europa League. So,
Yeah.
you know, is that going to be as appealing? That's my question. Yeah. But you know, there's still time for things to change.
Yeah, but they're still got the ambition. They've still got the Premier League status. They're in the Premier League. Yeah. You know, they're one of the top 6 clubs. So I get what you're saying. They're not in Champions League, not even in Europa League, but they've still got a. We say, like, if players were to look at them, if they unless they were at a better team, they wouldn't look at it saying, "Oh no, it's top." They'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's Tottenham. I might go there." So you have to wait and see.
Would you go to Spurs if you're Brendan Rodgers? Would you go?
Not if they don't. Not this season. Yeah, because Leicester look. I think Leicester will probably get Champions League this year. I don't think they'll bottle it. Yeah, but obviously you never know. But if he definitely gets Champions League, then you can't go this summer.
Exactly.
Maybe if they don't get summer and Tottenham do, maybe you look to it, because even though Leicester are doing well, Tottenham have more money, more better facilities and stuff like that. So it is a bigger club. Yeah. So at the moment, no, though.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester, to be fair, did build a new training ground. It looks really well. Sorry. The thing is, obviously, Spurs are a bigger team than Leicester in terms of just size right now. But I think Leicester is probably one of the best, if not the best, like run club in the world in terms of chairman, board, managers, fans. Like, if you take all this into consideration, Leicester is probably up there as one of the best. So I think Rodgers will understand that as well. And then if you get Champions League football, I can't see him leaving. So that is that. Before we end, quickly go through the other leagues. Bayern haven't won the title yet. They had the chance last weekend, but they lost 2-1 to Mainz. So they just need to win again. And they'll get that. Leipzig on playing this week because they're in the DFB Pokal semi-finals. Then extra time ran against Werder Bremen 1-0 up. Hwang Hee-chan literally just scored according to Flash scores. So they could be in the finals with that. I think the other semi-finals, Dortmund against the second tier, Bundesliga 2 team. So Dortmund should be in the finals as well, given that they actually step up. Liga is still very interesting. Lille beat Lyon last week 3-2 after being 2-0 down. That sort of pushed Lyon out of the title race a bit. And, you know, it's just Lille, Monaco and PSG now. But obviously PSG still got their cup semi-final to play and against Man City as well. So it's whether or not Poch wants to prioritise the league or Champions League for them. Serie A, Inter look fairly certain to win the league, but the race for the top 4 is really good. I think it's about 5 or 6 teams in it. Like Juve aren't guaranteed top 4 at the moment or Champions League football. And I think, I don't know if it's Nedved or someone else, they did say if Pirlo doesn't get it. Well, they said their exact words are, Pirlo will be here if we get Champions League football. So, you know, pressure's on Juve. I think it's AC Milan, who I think they're slipped at 5th now. They've really dropped off a lot. It's AC Milan, Juve, Napoli, Atalanta, and Lazio all fighting for those 3 spots. And there's only a few points between them, so it's one to keep an eye on. But fair play to Inter, they've ran away with it.
It's going to be funny just to see like some of the players that might go into Europa League, or if Liverpool don't step up, they're going to get Europa League. You know, Salah, Van Dijk.
Everyone wants Thursday night football, man. I'm telling you, Jack.
Ronaldo. So it'll be interesting.
If Ronaldo plays Europa League, that would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
It will.
Imagine just the Ronaldo fanboys. Like I'm not like disregarding him, but just imagine them and imagine how happy the Messi fanboys would be. That would be hilarious.
Or your goes in the Europa League, my goes in the Champions League.
Exactly. That'd be too funny. Twitter would absolutely love it. La Liga is really heating up as well. I believe there's 4 points separating Atletico, Real, Barca, and Sevilla. Barca missed a chance to go top last night, maybe perhaps the night before. They won up against Granada, but they did lose 2-1 in the end. Obviously, La Liga's a bit. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Ole is one of a time manager, man. Bowman just hasn't got it like him. Even with Messi, I mean, what's
Messi, Daniel James, you know, basically
exactly.
the same player.
Obviously, the thing in that is La Liga don't look at goal difference as much. There's head-to-head. So Real Madrid beat Barca, if I'm correct. So if the points are tied there at the end of the season, Real would stay above them. Atletico still right now is in their hands. Surprisingly, they're like 18
by 2 points.
Yeah, they're 18 points clear at 1 point. So they really should be winning it. If they don't, I think Simeone should probably look to leave just for Joao Felix's sake. Just so he can properly play football. Other than that, Dortmund have closed the gap to 1 point as well, I think, on Frankfurt. So they could actually get Champions League football after looking.
That's a Jadon Sancho effect. As soon as he comes back, they start winning games.
Exactly. It's just that good. Probably add another 50 mil to his price tag now. Yeah. Other than that, I think United and Liverpool is the game to look out for this weekend. Definitely. I think Liverpool.
Chelsea Fulham.
Oh, of course.
What a classic.
Big derby. Oh my God.
All I know derby, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the United game, obviously Liverpool's still playing for top 4, but just for pride as well. I think they don't want to get smacked up by United at this point.
I hope they do.
I think we're going to lose. Not going to lie.
Really, I was speaking to
where is
Jay.
It will be.
You guys play so many times this season.
Old Trafford.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was speaking to a couple of Liverpool fans, including Jay, and they're nervous after that Roma game, and obviously they're not on the best of form either.
No, I get that, but in my opinion, we should win because we should just ignore that it's Liverpool and just look at how they're playing, and we should just press them high, go at them. But I don't know, I'm nervous as well. Even though we had a good victory against Roma and we're playing well at the moment. I know we're due to Leeds, but I don't know. It's still Liverpool, so I don't know. I'm still nervous.
Yeah, I think it's got 0-0 written all over it, man.
Put Dan James down fucking Trent side. Pace abuse him.
Bro, he can't cross to the right. How's going to cross to the left, man? He just run, but what's going to do after that?
All right, man.
He's got to stop at some point.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, all right. I think that wraps up for this week. Obviously, we should have an episode Friday. We'll find out. Champions League winner. Or next Friday, I should say. No, we'll have Monday one, I guess. Yeah, we'll have Monday. We'll be back. We'll be back. But yeah, that'll just be some boring Premier League action probably. So yeah, this might end any second. So have a nice.
Before I think it's time to talk. I think it's time we sit down and just say what's going on.